Welcome to Your Thoughts channel, where we will tell the scariest and most horrifying stories that have ever happened in our world. If you are an adrenaline junkie and looking for something that will scare you, then you have come to the right place. Our stories are based on real events that have happened to many people around the world. Some of them may seem unbelievable and fantastic, but they are real. If you are ready to hear these horror stories, now is the time to pour yourself a cup of coffee or tea. Get comfortable and we will begin. The night was dark and silent as Emily made her way home from work. She walked quickly, her footsteps echoing in the empty streets. Suddenly, she felt a chill run down her spine as she heard the faint sound of footsteps behind her. She turned around but saw no one. She shrugged it off and continued walking, but the footsteps grew louder, closer. Emily's heart began to race as she quickened her pace, her breaths becoming shallow and quick. As she turned a corner, she saw a figure standing in the middle of the road. It was a tall, hooded figure, with long bony fingers and a face that was shrouded in darkness. Emily froze, her heart pounding in her chest, as the figure slowly began to move towards her. She tried to run, but her legs felt like lead. The figure reached out a hand and touched her shoulder, and Emily screamed as she felt an icy coldness spread through her body. Suddenly, Emily found herself in a dark, twisted forest. The trees were gnarled and twisted, and the moon shone down like a pale, cold eye. She stumbled through the forest, her breaths coming in short gasps, until she came to a clearing. There she saw the hooded figure again, standing at the center of a circle of stones. The figure raised its arms and began to chant in a language that Emily did not understand. The stones glowed with an eerie light, and Emily felt a wave of terror wash over her. Suddenly, the ground beneath her feet gave way, and she fell into a pit of darkness. Emily landed hard, her breath knocked out of her. She scrambled to her feet, but as she looked around, she realized that she was no longer in the forest. She was in a dark, musty chamber with stone walls and an arched ceiling. The hooded figure stood before her, and Emily realized with a sinking feeling that she was trapped. The figure spoke, its voice a cold, echoing whisper. "Welcome, Emily," it said. "You have been chosen to be our sacrifice." Emily screamed as the figure began to move towards her, its fingers stretching out like claws. She tried to run, but the walls seemed to close in on her, trapping her in a cage of darkness. The figure's fingers touched her skin, and Emily felt her life force drain away. She fell to the ground, her breaths becoming weaker and weaker, until she was no more than a pile of bones. The hooded figure disappeared, leaving behind only silence and darkness. The forest, the chamber, and the figure were all gone, leaving Emily's body lying on the empty street. No one knew what had happened to her, and no one ever would. For Emily, the darkness had claimed her, and she was lost forever.